Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about how to stay motivated for your yoga practice. So most people think that a good yoga practice, or it's believed that 6 days a week is what you should aspire to committing to. So it's all about showing up for your mat. That's kind of what we like to say. It's like every day you just show up for your mat. And so I get a lot of questions when I travel about like, wow, you are out there doing yoga every day, or how do you wake up so early and come here and do yoga? Or like, wow, how are you motivated? Like you're here and everyone's just in their pajamas or la la la, right? Everyone has some questions sometimes about how I actually show up to my yoga mat. And I love that I always have to remember too, it's really important, and I want to give you this advice, that it's just showing up for the mat. Every day is going to look a little different. So if you're forcing yourself every day to be really, really committed to a certain sequence or a certain structure of your practice, you're going to get really burned out and you might actually start to resent your mat, which is kind of a dangerous place to be in, because if you have resentment, then you're not going to enjoy your practice and you're not going to reap the rewards of it, feeling peaceful and balanced, and it's just going to take away from that. And so I know fellow yogis who sometimes literally like do a kind of a dance on their yoga mats, or they do these undulations where they're barely even doing like a yoga pose. They're just more like, yeah, undulating in and out of a pose. It's interesting, but what I like to do is I try to remember that 6 days a week, I'm going to show up for my mat and it's going to be whatever it's going to be. So sometimes it'll just be 10 sun salutations. Sometimes it'll be a full 2-hour practice where I have no idea I've been on my mat for 2 hours. Sometimes I just hold for 10 minutes a certain hip opening pose, like frog pose, and then 10 minutes on another yin yoga type pose, and then I'll just be done. So I'll just do 20 minutes, but just 2 poses. So you have to remember that every day is going to be different. It's just important that you show up for your mat. By doing that, you're building commitment to your practice and commitment to your journey through yoga, and you're going to reap all those awesome rewards, because when you're dedicated to something and committed to something, this builds and builds and builds and builds. Like it just only will improve your whole life, right? That's the purpose of yoga in ways. A lot of us just want to have that mental peace and that physical well-being and that connection, that where you feel like your mind and your body and your spirit are all really unified. Like if you're just going to a class twice a week, or if that's so great, not shaming that, that's wonderful, but building this practice, as I said, where you're actually trying to show up every single day in some small way or a big way to your mat, that's where the magic happens. And so that's what I'd want to encourage you all, is just roll out that mat, get on that mat, and then let your practice be whatever it is. Don't judge it, don't shame it, don't criticize it. If all you're going to do is 10 sun salutations, awesome, you got on that mat. That's what counts. And so just do what you can and stay motivated by allowing the practice to be organic and to flow. Because if you create these little boxes and these structures and it's all rigid, that's work. That's not play. That's not real. That's not how life works. Like everything is constantly changing, right? Like that is one of the most universal truths, is that everything changes. Everything's impermanent. And if you're treating your practice like it's this permanent, set, fixed box in which you must do the same thing, or you must blah, 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 get musts out of it. Just the only thing is just show up. Be present with yourself, be present with your breath, and that's all that counts. And so while I certainly do not practice 7 days a week, I aim for 6, and I don't practice if I'm not feeling well, especially in my tummy. So if I'm sick at all in the tummy, then I'm not practicing, as well as if I'm traveling and my time constraints don't allow for it. There's certain crazy circumstances too, like freak weather problems, or I can't practice outside and there's flooding in the room. I don't know. I mean, just things can happen. So also be kind to yourself. And if there's a reason why you can't show up, that's life also. Like just accept that and just do your best. And that's day by day by day, that's just going to build, and that's just going to be better and better. So my advice to you, if you're looking for motivation to get onto your mat every day, is just treat it like it's play and just show up. Anyway, I'll see you guys over at my website, wildyogatribe.com. Hope you are feeling a little bit more motivated.